Jesus said something interesting in part of his Sermon on the Mount. So the very first sermon that kind of kickstarts his ministry, he talks about giving. And this is what he says in Matthew chapter 6, verse 21. He says, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." So what he was saying is, if you've got a problem with being generous, if you've got a problem with giving, then you've got a heart problem. It's nothing else except for a problem of priority. It's a problem that starts in the heart. I would encourage you today, be generous. Be generous. Now, we a lot of times decide that generosity is allocated to one thing, and that's finance. But the truth is, there's a lot of other things that we can be generous with. We can be generous with our time. We can be generous with our encouragement. We can be generous with resources. We can be generous even with our home and opening the home that God has given us to hospitality, to helping host a small group. What is it that God has given to you that you can be generous with? And if you were honest, if you were to look at it and say, man, I'm not being that generous, I'm not being quite like what Jesus asked, you'd be honest enough to say, that's a heart issue and something that I need to take care of. Let's start today to be a generous people, the kind of people that Jesus asked for in his very first message.